Hello, everyone. Welcome. I welcome you warmly to this episode of NDISCO'S Village Meeting podcast. This is Series 3, Episode 28. How are you all doing? How on a day? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I hope you are beginning to get ready for the summer in the next few weeks, actually, in about another week or so. We get into the hard midsummer. So I hope you're ready for the fun and to protect your skin out there while you're having fun. So today we're going into a different topic altogether. I know for a few weeks I have been working hard trying to put stuff together, and I wanted to present on some other topics, but this one came to be because I had discussions with some people, actually, some fellow women, and um, and this type of discussion I have listened to men also talk about, and again I've been accused of not caring about anybody else but the young ones. But today I thought, oh, anyway, it's not that I don't care for everybody, including the old. It's just that there are so many things to be talked about. And we got to start somewhere. And believe me, we'll get to all the topics, old, young, small, big. It's just that the turn of events are making us move our compasses from one area to the other. So stop, I do apologize about the confusion, but it's not really a confusion. It's just as things come up, we talk about them. So today we're going to talk about a topic that is, it's not a concern, but it's becoming a little bit something that some people are beginning to be uh, either concerned about or they are looking forward to that period in our life. So, what are we talking about? We are talking about aging. You can see the two types of spelling there, aging with an E and the regular aging. It depends on where you are in the world. Um, and it's part of our culture. It's part of our African outlook. It's part of the world outlook to talk about growing up. So there's going to be 3 series to this part. But we start today by asking the question, why do some embrace this period of our lives gracefully? They welcome that, while others really don't look forward to it. They don't like it. As each birthday comes close, they start to panic and do whatever else in their lives to turn this around or move things back. Ah, age. What about it? So let's delve in. I always believe in starting with um, defining. I think by definition, we just then have an idea of what we are talking about, how others look at it, what we have in our minds as the meaning of what we are talking about. And most especially, learn from others, or others learn from us what our thoughts are. So when I looked into aging to know what exactly it is, I have an idea, but I don't want it to be my thoughts only. But what does the world think aging is? So I combined this. This is what I found. Many schools of thought of this. And it came down to being the progressive accumulation of physical, psychological, and social changes in an organism, meaning humans, and non-human, I mean, like or animals and all that. The biological changes results from molecular and cellular damage over decades, leading to gradual decline of tissue function and regenerative capacity. I know these are big words, but it just means that whatever God has put in us, or heavens have put in us, or whatever, whoever put that in us, get old gradually. They change. Aging is change. We were born little, we grow up, we now have aged or are aging, depending on where you are along the spectrum. Remember when we were small, we were craving to be really grown up. Those of you who in secondary school, you want to go to high school and get it over with, then senior high, and then you want to get into the university and get a job, maybe get married in that order, or retire and all that. And as you get into each step, you start looking back and like, wow, how did I get here? You wish back. So I always tell the young ones when they say, oh, I can't wait to that. I'm like, no, 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 no. Take your time and wait. um, Enjoy wherever you are, whatever level you are, and all that. It's something given to us. It's not step by step for everybody. That those stages could be taken away from you anytime. So this is what aging is all about. If you look at this definition, we're talking about biological changes. So as we go on, you're going to find the difference between biological changes or aging and what they call chronological aging. Hang on. So, what are the common physical and cognitive, when it's like the knowledge? How do you know, or how do you observe changes that occur if you're aging? First of all, you have the skin and the hair. There's for some of you see, there is something called collagen, like some people call it, in our body that makes us like looking fresh and elastic and, tight skinned and all that, looking good all the time. Well, as you get into teenage years and all that, you see those and people see you glowing and all that. It's a lot of collagen going on. But as you get older in age, as you get added years, you find that those reduce. And then you start seeing wrinkles. And from also the pigment of the melanin on your skin, whether you're white, yellow, or red or black, the loss of this pigment called melanin will start causing your hair to turn gray. So, and sometimes no matter how much you color it, and the women will tell you that, or even men, you can't stop the gray. It will come again and again, or even faster. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is the musculoskeletal changes, the muscle mass loss. When we were young, we were running around everywhere and doing everything, and you have all these muscles to show. And, that's part of you, that's part of growing up. Okay. But then as you age, as you get up in years, you see those muscle, the mass start getting lost. Okay. Your bone density start decreasing. You have joint pain because your lubricating fluid that are in those, some of them, of course, I know your fluid and all that, they start drying up in your joints and you have those aches, and those affect your mobility to walk long distances, to sit, to get up and all that. Those are affected, and, falls can occur from that. We have this sensory perception. Sensory means that the eyes, the touch, and everything, that your senses are no longer what they used to be from the youth era. You're now getting old, to the elder, to the age that your eyes begin to lose the focus to close objects, presbyopia start occurring. And for those of you, for us who started wearing glasses when we were little, we may not, know the changes to that, but really, when you take off those glasses, you'll find that what you used to be able to focus on before are no longer that way if you're getting older. Um, the hearing is no longer what it used to be. And you see the young ones telling the old, I can't hear you. What did you say? I mean, the old ones are telling you how it is. They're not really playing. They can't hear well. They can't smell well, So the taste bud is gone. That is, some of them can't even eat 3 square meals because they don't really have that appetite, or the taste of what you give them. They ask you for certain foods and the others. Those part of growing old. Cognitive processing also is going on. Um, but this is the aspect where people get it wrong, that when somebody's getting old, their general knowledge or wisdom decreases. There is no literature out there that has said that. It's really either, in this case, actually increases. So, but the only difference is that the processes before, it used to be quick, and they can hear you, they can do all that, they can, tell you stuff, regurgitate what they have in their brain also quite quicker than before. But now, as they get older, those knowledge are not lost. The wisdom is not lost. The only thing is that there is a slower processing speed. The reaction to what they used to be able to give you quickly may be lost. So there is those signals that travel along the nerves being slower. So it doesn't mean that they are now stupid. The old are not stupid. They need more time to process and give you what you need. So the question then is, when do people start aging? Remember when um, the 4-year-old or 5-year-old, you will tell them you are 10 years old. They're like, oh, you are old. And the 16 or 17-year-old, we hear about it, 30-something-year-old, they say, oh, those are old. And then when you are in your 30s, you see somebody who is 60 or whatever, say, oh, that's old. So it all depends on what you will really know. And we are beginning to find out that the word old is not really what we you know, we haven't defined it in the way that others have defined that. So biologically, humans start aging as soon as development ends. And this is typically around 20 to 25 years of age, believe it or not. In our teenage years to, mid to late teens, the body is still growing. It's at its peak, actually, physical growth. That's where you have those growth spurs and all that. Your cells in your body are really so efficient and effective that they produce everything and that. But when you get to those teen years, these things start stopping. They start functioning in the way they used to before. And as you approach 20 years of age, the tissues and the cellular aspects, they begin to experience wear and tear. So, and that's when it starts, your aging starts. Okay. So your chronological age, like I said before, is considered the number of years you have lived on earth. You've been alive. But that is your biological age. It refers to how old the cells and your organs truly are. And these are based on, again, the lifestyle they use, how they function. And you find out that sometimes chronic stress, poor sleep, nutrition, sun protection, lack of that exercise and all that, those habits that really affect uh, your aspects of meditation, all that, the tracking of all the innermost systems will dictate how this elongated or shortens. So you may have a chronological age of 30, And because of how you are handling those other cells and organs in your body by the way of your lifestyle, you may have a biological age that is actually older or younger than your chronological age. Okay, let that sink a little bit. Okay? So there's a reason why they ask you, do you smoke? Do you drink? And all that, because all those are factors, according to the literature out there, that really might shorten your biological age, no matter what your chronological age is. And I think the most important thing to living a life fully is if you have both functioning well at the same time. So I took the liberty of putting the thoughts of schools of thoughts out there, some highlights on your timeline of aging. And is according to Harvard Health, Dr. Torgerson, National Institute of Aging, ARP, and many more. They are saying to us that age 20 is the hidden start of aging. Between ages 25 and 30, the organs start to change. And again, this is where your lifestyle comes in. If you endanger your lifestyle, if you endanger your biological age, that's where it's affected. So that it really counts a lot. The mid-30s, you will start seeing the visible signs, the gray hair, the wrinkles, maybe, if you don't alter anything. And the age 34 is what they call the first crest, fully. It starts showing. Age 60 is the second crest, more of the aging of chronology and biology. And by 78, the third crest sets in. So again, it depends on what we do or what we have on our life out there. Okay. When we talk about this aging, and shows us how much we owe or we can do to our life to help or hurt our being. Okay? So how do we age? I looked up that in order to answer ourselves when we say we love to get old or we hate to get old, what does it really mean? Okay, is it all out of our control, or is it something that we could help? And in what way can we do that? So what I found was that everybody who talks says aging or aging with an E is natural. It is a natural phenomenon, which we may not be able to stop, but we can help. However, the effects of aging can be somewhat controlled by a lot of what we're going to talk about. In the next episodes, I will share with us how we can help ourselves in that direction. The rate of decline in aging are strongly influenced by certain factors, and those we may be able to help, and some we may not be able to help. But it's the onus is on us to understand the differences, things we can control and things we cannot control, in order to enhance not only the chronological age, which are there counting, but the biological age, because the biological age actually will be the one that makes everything better or worse. One is the lifestyle. How do we live? What do we eat? How do we really function day to day? That's the big question. Your lifestyle has to count. The environment we live in, how do they, those, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are. Your environment might really impact how you age. But then, is it part of it is there, or are there part of that environment that you can control or that you can not? That's the question you ask. The genetics, we were all born from somewhere, from someone, from a lineage. What is the genetic story of your lineage? So if you find out, and that's why now in the realm of medicine, we are going into our genes, the genetic makeup, the theory of, okay, if in the past someone in your family had XYZ disease state, it might manifest in your life now. So they're asking you questions. So those forms that you complete in your doctor's offices, they are not there for fancy. There's a reason. The people now are being traced back to if a mother, father, or someone in your past, in your family, in your genes, in your direct DNA synthesis, um, died of cancer or one of those diseases, or they trace it by something could be done upfront to help you prolong your life instead of succumbing to what they went through because they didn't know. So a whole lot is going by, um, the genetics and our aging. So don't run away from those questions when they come. So let's look at this now. This is I had to dig in to ask again, why do some embrace aging, look forward to it, love it, and why do some loathe it? They are afraid of it that you don't even mention that they are going to be 1 year older. Birthdays really make them shrink. If you go to one of the episodes in the past that I put up there, why people don't, you be careful how you give a surprise birthday to somebody, is because some people, for whatever reasons, especially this fear of aging, um, cannot stand birthdays. Believe it or not, it's out there. So, but the questions come. Why is it that A will enjoy the next birthday being older, and some B will say, "Oh no, no, God forbid! What do I do to stop it?" So, for those who enjoy it, we have this idea of that is because they find deep freedom. Remember, as people age, again, look back to the age 20 where aging starts to 78 and above. There is freedom along the way. The 20-year-old cannot wait to get away from parental control. And the one who is always in the house, if you're a girl that is restricted, cannot wait to get older to really enjoy your life, whichever way you were thinking about it. And as it goes on, you find that you have freedom under this every step as you age. Whether everybody likes that freedom or not, that's another topic, another day. But this deep freedom of doing whatever you want to do is what some people count on. Greater emotional stability. People think as they get older, they get wiser. They know what is coming down the line, been there, done that, kind of, they've made their mistakes. Now you fool them once, but you can't fool them twice, kind of thinking. And so they are looking forward to getting older and getting their, fortifying their emotional stability at that point. Self-acceptance rather than fighting the natural passage of time or passage of time. You see, when we were younger, think about it when you were younger, you know, um, sometimes some people who don't have their self um, control or self acceptance, actually, they want to be like A or B. Jane is taller, Jane is prettier, Jane is blonde, uh, Jane is dark. This person has muscles. This other person has the ability. This person can smile. This person, so many things that people are fighting. You know, um, people are saying, "Oh, this person is skinny. This person is fat." We have heard stories of people who get into nonsense to get slimmer or get smaller, and people who are smaller who get into something to get bigger. So go figure. And you've seen people who the color of their skins are really a burden to them and they want to change. And some have thought about, okay, I don't function like a boy, I want to be a girl, and vice versa. So many things going on. But when people get to that age of accepting themselves how they are, you say, I'm ugly. Oh, it's on you because I am the image God has created me. You said I am, short. Ah, that means I can reach everything on the floor instead of you before you bend down from your height. You say I'm too tall. Well, I can reach the attic or everywhere up there that you cannot. You have now accepted that you are the image created for a purpose. You've accepted who you are, and that's part of aging that brings that to some people. Okay. You've heard some women say, I don't care what you tell me now. I love what I am or who I am and all that. They don't care. Some men are the same also. Well, if you say I don't have this or that, that's fine. I'm okay the way I am. And so everybody now is finding, those who enjoy aging are finding that, you know what? Whatever I do, I cannot change myself from where or who I am, but to make myself comfortable in my own skin. They now have time on purpose. Those of them that are retiring or have retired now have more time than rushing up and down, going to this place and that place and walk, every morning and coming back at God knows when. And they now form there's another purpose to life than just the 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. And so that's how they embrace that. They have gratitude now and joy and saying, I am living every day. Some of them that are in their 70s, 80s, 90s, like thanking Almighty for giving them another day when some of their colleagues are gone. So whether they are productive or not, it's another day to see the sun, to enjoy people around them. And with that, it's also stronger relationships that one can enjoy with family members, with friends, well-wishers, and with even strangers that someone doesn't know very well, but meeting for the first time just because you are alive. Okay? So that's that aspect. The other aspect are those who hate or loathe aging. They're wondering what happened along the line. Now they see wrinkles, they see all those things we talked about. They can taste, they can smell, and they can see. They have presbyopia, and there's so many things they can't do anymore. Yeah, their concerns are genuine as well because they think aging is now forcing them to confront that profound loss of control across many things. Movement, um, having a say in most uh, aspects of their life. You see those people who are aged now, who cannot do anything by themselves, are relying on the grace of their own children or people who they don't even know who are helping them either in their homes or outside of their homes. That's the fear of a lot of people. And it's a genuine fear. Don't get me wrong. The physical decline, because when you age, those organs and the cells age, and that means things are no longer as functional as they used to be. And some people take that really slightly harder than the others because they want to jump around like they used to do when they were 30s, 40s, or lower. But that's the aspect of aging. It's natural. Physical aspect has to decline or is used to decline at that moment. But that's their problem. That's what their concerns are, and it's genuine for them. Loss of independence. Okay, everybody is into your into your case. Where are you going? Where are you sitting? Our children are concerned. They call you every minute or 2 minutes, like, stop. I'm alive. I'm here. I know you can still take care of yourself. But it's genuine, but you don't rule them out. You don't that's their own thinking of maybe the way of helping you, of making sure you are okay. But some people don't like that. They just don't want to be bothered. But at this age, you will be bothered. Your cognitive changes are happening and you don't like that. It's bound to happen. Okay. But don't think you've lost all your knowledge or ability to learn. The only thing is that it's slower, and it's okay, because there are certain things we'll talk about in the next episodes that will help you get over that aspect. Societal pressure. Oh my gosh, that's the biggest one. And again, it goes back to the other side of those who enjoy aging. They accept what has come, but then they twist it to what they like that will fit them. The society we live in, sorry, um, they're doing their job of being a society. They are going to poke into your personal aspect and your private aspect and all that. Especially, they put you in a bucket where they think you belong. And that means there are certain things you can or cannot do. But then it's up to you to listen to them or not. So this is a genuine fear because everything you do is um, interpreted otherwise by the society we live in, and the pressure is to put you in that bucket of you are old and we're waiting for you to die. That's the next step. But some today are saying, no, you can't put me in that bucket. I'm not dead yet. So we'll talk more about those. The grief and isolation of at this age, everybody now the tent is now op, open because everybody, the children are gone. Some of the older people have lost relatives, so most of the time they're all alone. And the grandchildren, if you have one, it comes around once in a blue moon, but most of the time they are alone. So some people hate that, they loathe that, while on the other hand, some people love that. Those who are enjoying that. See, there is a contrast of those two, like what they like and what they like. You see that's juxtaposition of what works in these areas. The financial stress is a big one, and we're going to mention that again. It's real for a lot of people because it used to be at a certain age in the past. People, the lifespan is shorter. People, don't have much time in life to do more than to just go unalive. But nowadays, with technology and the other processes helping the aging process, people are living longer. And when you live longer, you need money to live longer. You can't work that much anymore. And you may have children who you have raised that may or may not be able to help you. And the savings are actually there, but the savings may have been depleted because of the elongated number of years on Earth. And in some cases, like in some countries where their government have cheated them out of what they're supposed to grow old with, it's sad. That's a real thing, and people know that. And the last there is mortality. Yes, we all will die. And for the people who equate old age to dying, that is a reality for them. But then, on the other hand, people who enjoy it will say, well, I'll live every day as it is the last. Let's enjoy it while we can. Let's live while we're still living instead of dying while we're living. So it all depends on who you ask. So that's the contrast between those two groups. Um, with that, we just started scratching the surface of this topic. We're coming back to it because I want to share with us all the top concerns of this, how we ourselves, those of us in the world, those people who are aging, who consider themselves aging, and people actually who, like you said, we have just said aging starts at 20, to have people who are at a certain level or stage of this aging process to start thinking about the end of it all. And people who are already there, what do you do to help yourself go the day-to-day aspect till it ends? And as well as looking at what the world thinks about aging. So come with me. Let's explore this topic. And maybe along the line, if you are aging, you may find a perspective to turn things around, especially if you're one of those who loathe it. If you are some of those who enjoy it, we say, hey, more grease to your elbow, and maybe enhance what you already have. If you are young, you think you are not going to get old, think again. We hope you get old. It's better than dying early. And so, as you have your tomorrows, we think you should start early to think about that stage in life. And for those of you already in this arena who are not loving it at all, and we may help turn your perspective around and help you find a peaceful place in between. To you may not enjoy it or love it, but not hate it, but go with the ride. Okay, and that's all. That's it for today. I thank you for joining me. And I hope you subscribe to this. Like I said, I am everywhere. This podcast is now everywhere, especially on YouTube, where you can go and stop. And please share with everybody else. Subscription is free. So please circulate and share. Again, this is Ndisco's Village Meeting Podcast, and we are in our third year. Thank you so much for listening. This is your hostess, Dr. Marcellina Ndidi M.OPARAOJI, and saying to you good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are.